And on their name, put some respect. Yeah, yeah. I think it's time for reality check. Yeah, reality check. Gotta get you back on cold. Reality check. For the young and the old. Reality check. Yeah, yeah, the heal your soul. Reality check. Get ready for the show.
What up, though? What up, though? Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
Hey, Dr. Winters. How you
How
doing?
you doing, beautiful? See, it's Beauty and the Beast. See, we give you a little ugly and a lot of beauty. That's what it has to be. You have to get that feminine energy. You have to see what's going on. I mean, this is a exciting time. It's an exciting time there, Eve.
I'm sorry, you just broke up for me. What'd you just say?
I said, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right. Can't complain too much. But the weather is getting cold quickly this year, or maybe it's just
It's not you. It's not you. I can feel it too. It's it's I know I've been noticing that, but I mean, hey, what can you do? I mean, every night it's about going down here in Chicago, it's going down to about 58, maybe 40 something.
right.
You had to get under the cover and stuff, and so it's kind of hectic. But I don't hardly sleep anyway, so I know the temperatures.
Yeah, it's not quite that cold here, but it is there is a huge difference. You can tell at nighttime for sure, because during the day you might be hot and heavy sweat.
Yeah.
The weather is so heavy, and then if you're still outside, you're probably going to catch a cold or something because your clothes are sweaty and the temperature just dropped out of nowhere. And
Right.
I'm like,
But see, but back in the day when I was married, I could put my feet up against my wife, and I could get kind of warmed up there. But now, that's right. But now my feet. What are you going to hit? Nothing.
oh.
Nothing. But the whole point is this: is that it's very wonderful, and I really like this week's topic. And the reason I like this week's topic is that, we forget sometimes is that, life is like a palette. Life is like a palette. It's like art. And because, often we want to make it the way we want it to be. How you doing, Karen? What up, though?
What up, Karen?
And hello to you too. And see, and the thing is this is that sometimes you forget that life is like a palette. You have your desires, you have these things that you want, but it's a lot of things you want out of life. I remember when I got married. The two greatest days of my life was when I got married and when I got my doctorate degree. Those were my 2 days. I tried to hold on to those days. I tried to hold on to that happy feeling, but I couldn't keep it that long. But I had a good wife, so she made my life happy as long as I was around her. Now, when I had to go to work, when I had to get out into the world, when I had to deal with people, whole different story. But at least I always had a happy place to come home to, and that's important. And that comes from it comes from people like you, Eve. I know my daughter, married to my oldest son, is that she talks a lot about that, and I mean, hey, I guess they've been together over 20 years, so I guess they, but she had been divorced twice. He had never been divorced. No, she had been divorced once, I think, yeah. And so, the second time around was real good. My third son, he's been divorced, twice? Something like that. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just living my life, trying to do what the hell I can do, and trying to understand that life is hard. Life is hard. It's, I think about, it's the beauty that you see in the person, in your partner. It's the beauty that you see in your children, And sometimes I like to look back and look at some of those old pictures and think about the thoughts that I had for them, the minis, as you call them.
The mini. That's nice. I know pictures aren't the same, and I'm not going to sit here and do that, but isn't it interesting that you can look at a picture and pick back up where you were in the moment, and you might not have even had that thought for years, or I don't know, for a long time. And then maybe you see a picture, or at least this happened to me recently. I was going through some pictures, and I was going through some pictures looking for a picture, and my oldest son, or the oldest boy, Minnie, he was with me, and he's like, who's that? And I'm like, oh, that's your cousin, that's your uncle. And then I'm remembering, like, I didn't know I could do that, like kind of jump back into that time. And then so I found the picture I was looking for, and I sent it to my cousin, and he'd never seen it before. Then I wonder how that is when you see a picture of yourself that you've never seen before. Like, can you jump back into that memory or not? I don't know. But
that's so interesting, because on the family chat, last week, was it last week? Last week, my baby, my knee baby, that's the one close to the baby. But my knee baby, he had posted some pictures, and he had posted a picture of my son from back in the day. I said, "Damn, who the hell is that?" And he was dressed like Hammer, he was in the Navy. He was stationed out of San Diego. So I said, "Damn, where did that picture come from?" I said, "I had never seen that picture." He said, "Yeah, I got a lot of them." But it's so many pictures. And when you start having your own families, and your children start having their family, and they have their own life, you can be surprised by pictures. But pictures can make you go back. Yeah. Because they can help you to maybe evaluate where you are, and then sometimes you look in the mirror. See, when you look in the mirror, you see you don't see yourself. You see somebody else. Oh, that's a handsome Negro. And then in a sense, then when you look at the picture, say, "Damn, what happened? What happened? Where's my hair? Where's my hair? Especially my hair. Where's my hair?" I used to have a big afro, and only place I can get some more hair is maybe a beard or something. Hell, I want some up here, but there's nothing I can do. It just, But again, that's life. But life is beautiful, though. Life is beautiful. People are beautiful, and I'm happy that I knew love, and I'm happy that I can love, because it's very hard, because some people, when they think back, they have terrible thoughts. I don't have terrible thoughts,
Oh yeah, it's funny that that's what you just said, because the topic tonight would have been about survival and love, because of how people, how you were reared. If you were reared in a household full of love, then you know how to do that, maybe. Or the opposite being true, if you were raised in a household where people are just getting by, no time for emotions or feelings or whatever, because I'm at work. I don't, you're loved because you have somewhere to live and sleep. You have clothes, there's food in the refrigerator, but there's no hugs, no I love yous. But then,
well, I didn't hear any loves, and I loved you and all that type of stuff. And then I was talking to my sister's friend, and she didn't hear. We didn't, black people just didn't do that back in the day. Back in the day, they wanted to prepare you for this world. This is a mean ass world. It's a mean world. You had to be strong, and you had to remember critical race theory. White people hate you. White people want to kill you. White people established a racism, which is a race in which you're going to lose. And yet, even though they want to kill you, we survive. Even though they hate you, we still get over it. Even though they established a rule system to hold us back, we still succeed often. And so then, therefore, in a sense, that's why I only know one thing. That's why I know God exists. I don't know anything else. I know God exists. Everything else is whatever somebody tells me.
I like that. It's a very strong belief that you have about the things around you, because yeah, everybody's trying to tell you how to do or what it is. And then if you have something here or wherever the mind is, here in my elbow or in my big toe,
It's somewhere. It's somewhere.
somewhere. But to know what you feel to be true, I think that's pretty powerful. And then I think that it's reflected in how we act, how we treat people, how we allow people to treat us.
True.
I was talking to my brother, and this is all related, you guys. I know it seems like we go all over the place, but it's all related. I was talking to my brother about this movie. I don't know if you remember this movie, so let's test this in real time. Sinbad, do you know that the actor comedian Sinbad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he played in a movie when I was a child called Shazam, where he was a genie to like this little white boy. I don't even know who the kid character was, but
They said that didn't exist. They said that didn't exist. So how are you remembering something that doesn't exist? How can you remember that?
That is, it's insanity. They're calling it the Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, yeah.
And I get it. You can have a false memory of something just because.
But I got the same false memory.
Right now, right? If we're sharing the same false memory, what's that about, right? Yeah. So,
But but then in a sense, it goes back to the what people try to do with the Matrix movie, mm-hmm. and then you start to say to yourself, "Damn, these people can hypnotize you. These people can create memories, and you don't know if what you're really feeling is really from you or is it a false memory now? And it's this whole thing, did Mandela die? I don't know. I don't remember. But the whole point is this: is that it's so easy. It's so easy for us to create memories. Like I'm not going to tell a lie. I've been knowing this. Aren't you going to ask me how?
Say again?
Aren't you going to ask me how I knew that you want to create memories?
How's that?
Because when my kids were growing up, I wanted to create memories. I wanted to create memories because I felt in the sense that I wanted them to have good memories. Because I feel that when you get old, a lot of times it's the memories that push you forward. It's the memories that allow you to be able, in a sense, to understand life. But see, because the fact, in a sense, is that we want to create certain experiences for our children. We even want to create certain experiences with your partner, mm-hmm. With your lover, whatever. And because the fact, in a sense, that we're always trying to create these experiences, that's what makes life and art the same. Because in art, you have a palette, and you get that palette, and you get the colors, and you use those colors to maybe, in a sense, brighten up the world. You're an artist, so I know that you're intimately connected with art.
And you're right. It's about the creation. It's an artist creates things. Life has the ability to create things, and then you can kill a piece of work. You can destroy it. There's the destruction aspect or the death aspect. The duality of it all, and dang it, if my brother didn't say that, the fact that I was even talking to him about this, he's like, do y'all love yourselves? And it was so funny to me because he was so serious and so he was.
Why did you ask him why he asked you that question?
I did. He said that the reason that he asked that is because, our memories are ours. And if you're allowing people to, tell you that something didn't happen that happened, it's kind of like you're giving up pieces of you. And then he said, I love myself too much. I'm not jumping down that rabbit hole. Because I looked at the Mandela effect post and it's just all these things. I'm like, wait a minute, no. Oscar Mayer, wait a minute, no. Tinkerbell, wait a minute, no. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Why do they give a shit about all of this stuff? These are all trivial things. Who cares if Sinbad made a movie or, if the Oscar Mayer Wiener commercial was saying like this versus like that. But our memories
because they're playing with your mind.
Right.
Playing with your mind and see the only thing that keeps some of us saying, see, it's just like this. If you're that poor person today who doesn't look at YouTube, who doesn't in a sense have social media, you can be really blinded. You can be so dumb because see, you know, the media, CBS, ABC, you know, CNN, all of these network news programs, they have a purpose, and that purpose, in a sense, is to brainwash you. Is to make these relative. Yeah, YouTube can be funny too, but on YouTube it was a little different. Now I will admit this though, is that Eve, you may not notice, but ever since the pandemic, they've taken off all of the what do they call them? They've taken off all the theories, the theories about
right. How you can, where it originated, how you can get better, and those.
Right, or 9/11. You know, what was 9/11 really, or the Secret Space Command. They've taken off all this stuff. It's still on the internet, but if you don't know the specific address, you'll never find it. And what they've done is that during the pandemic, they want to take all the controversy away, and they have in a sense, they have generated your brother, God bless him with his dumb ass. But I'm sorry to say, he's younger than me, so brother, don't come and want to beat me up because I'm old.
No.
but the thing is this, is that he doesn't understand that these people are playing on our mind. These people are playing on our mind. I mean, just think about the fact, I was thinking the other day, and Tariq always talks about the tethers, you know, and he talks about how the tethers have always been against us, you know. And then I thought back to they had an article in Time magazine back in the 80s, and they talked about the Contra and the drug thing. But then they brought the fact, in a sense, is that crack was introduced by the Jamaicans. We forget crack was introduced by the Jamaicans.
Really?
Yeah, the Jamaicans introduced crack. They had a beautiful article in Time magazine back in the talked about how that crack was one of the greatest inventions that you could have in terms of a business model. Aren't you going to ask me why?
I am going to ask you why.
Yeah, because the thing is this, is that the Jamaicans, when they made crack, they put we called it, you know, up here they called it Ready Rock, but they would take the rock and they would put it in a plastic container. So you had the rock to get you high, and you can also smoke it. You see, and the thing is this, is that we see that as a Jamaican introduction, but I don't see it as a Jamaican introduction. I know the Jamaicans were the ones who spread it in the Black community, but they were really, I think, working for COINTELPRO, working for the CIA. Is that because everybody, you know, people was Black power. My generation was Black power. We wanted to turn this mother out, and they had to find a way to stop it, and they nipped it in the bud by in a sense introducing crack into the community. And you know, and crack created years of amnesia. And when many of us who were Black power, we went undercover, you know. And I still remember the days when they said, there go that Black man. And I'd be looking, they're Black like me, but they used to call me the Black man. See, if you talk to that Black man over there, he's gonna say everything in history was done by Black people. And see, they were able, in a sense, to by bringing in crack, they was able, in a sense, to confuse us. You know, they were able, in a sense, see, because you have to understand is that unity is very important. But see, the European has always understood he's not afraid of racial unity. He's not afraid of us unifying as a people. Because the thing is this, is that it's very difficult to unify as a people, but he doesn't want you to unify with a Black partner.
Oh,
see,
that makes sense.
Because remember, if you have a good wife, a good woman, a good man, then you guys in the midnight hour are going to have those good conversations, and that's going to keep you constant. that's going to keep you relative. And see, they don't want you to be constant. They don't want you to be relative. They want you to be always upset. And by you being always upset, by the time you get 35, you know, if you're a black woman, you got taking all these pills for high blood pressure, you know, you're so upset in a sense, you know, you got all type of things. Your menstrual period ain't acting right, or you lose it, then it come back, and you know, you're just because your mind is all just mixed up because you're always worrying about things. And so that's why they want to keep you worried. They want to keep you, in a sense, they want to keep you where you can have no relaxation. And see, they especially affect our women. I'll never forget that by the time my mom got 35, just about everybody around her was taking pills. I thought, damn, I thought it was natural to be taking pills.
Oh no.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because everybody's having high blood pressure, you know. And then those who weren't having high blood pressure, you know, like the girls the women in my generation, high pressure and heart failure.
Oh,
you know. And see, because they kept on trying, because the European has done a very successful job. He's done a very successful job of keeping us with a lot of anxiety, a lot of anxiousness, and even if you can have a good home life, it can still be hard on your wife, because your wife may just be going along. See, and you know, just like I knew that when my wife started worrying about my sons, I knew it was going to be trouble in a sense. I didn't know if she was going to die, but I knew it was going to be trouble, because I knew every time she started, see your children break your heart. They break your heart. When a black woman gets heart failure, her children or her husband or somebody in her family who she loved has broken her heart.
Yeah.
See?
Whoa.
Oh yes, it's terrible. I know some of my kids, y'all listening. Yeah, I feel y'all killed y'all mama, but I mean, that's life, you see. But but the whole point is but they didn't mean to do it. But see, when your life, see, it's so beautiful. It's the old saying is that when your children are little on your heart, and then when you're on your feet, and then when your children get older on your heart, because you're worried about them, you want to see them become successful. And the thing is, this is so then therefore, but they can break your heart. And so I really feel, in the sense that when a woman has heart failure, her kids, her mom, somebody broke her heart. See,
that's heavy. I did not think you were going to do that to me off of this topic, but
life and art are the same.
It is. You said that they're all mixed up, and I just visualize, you know, my palette and the paint, or everything just mixing up, or just the mess that comes from creating. A lot of times there's a lot of mess not when I'm drawing, you guys, because that's relatively messless. But if I'm painting or if I'm building something, there's so much mess. I absolutely hate the cleanup part.
Yeah.
About creating, whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's when I'm making some art, but there's always mess that comes from it. And you can do something with it. You can toss it, in the kitchen, we compost it. So then the waste is going towards creating something new again. We've got this, or I guess it goes this way.
That you're composing stuff from compost?
Yeah, the compost goes into the garden.
The garden, yeah.
Garden feeds us, and then all back around again. So, but life and art is the same. You look, before we went live, and I was rushing because there's so much to do before we went live. The sunset was so pretty. It was so pretty. Every night, it's a different display or array of color. And, if you have minis, they're going to ask you, who did that? Or how'd that happen like that? Or, at nighttime is at night, and in the morning is when you get all sorts of different colors. But during the day and at night, it's just black, or it's just dark blue, or It's just light blue or whatever it is during not dusk and dawn. It just is. And then in dusk and dawn, it's so pretty. And then I don't know, I was thinking about here in Virginia at dusk, the prettiest time of night during this season is when the mosquitoes come out. And there's one in here right now. And it is driving me insane.
You know, that's interesting you said that, is that for some reason we didn't have a lot of mosquitoes in my area this year.
Really?
Yeah, most of the time the mosquitoes come out, but I had some wasps on my deck, and they live up under my deck, you know. And so when we would have get-togethers, I would try to, in a sense, have my grill to maybe kind of smoke them out.
Yeah.
But they would still come out. But again, in a sense, this is a strange year, and I don't know why it's a strange year, but I do know this, that my daughter back in the 210, she said, "Pops," say, "Mom, Dad, you know the 20s are going to be rough," and she was absolutely correct. These 20s are strange as hell. These 20s are very strange. You know, the things in a sense that are happening and the things that you want to make. Because see, remember, I never forget when I got married, you know, and then, you know, my wife said, "Well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and this and that, this, that, this, that. I said, no. I said, "Baby, you know," I said, "those are good, but I said we had to take each day one day at a time." But see, but she had her ideas, and I had my ideas, and I was a liar. I was a liar because I had my ideas too, that I wanted to see. I wanted to make things be a certain way, just like you. In any relationship, you know, life is nothing but art, because in art, you're trying to draw a picture. In art, when you're trying to draw a picture, you're trying to create, in a sense, a way of putting the colors together. You're trying to make a composite that can really be exciting for us, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is that that's the way art is that you have all these dreams, you have all these ideas, you know what you hope your relationship will be. You know that better than me, because I mean, you've been divorced once. So you know that better than me, because you've had your hopes squashed, and then but you have resilience, so you've been able, in a sense, to maybe invest in another relationship. And to me, that takes a lot. That takes a whole lot of strength, you know.
It does. You're so right about, you know, the creating what it is that you see in your mind. You know, your relationships, or, you know, you got a dream job, or even when you're a child and you said that when you grow up, you were going to have a white picket fence, poodle, you know, 2 kids and 2 matching his and hers cars, or whatever it was. That's it. What do you say?
A pool in the back.
You're right. A pool in the back. You know, you've got your picture, and then you have to create it. But then how do you get there? Black America has had to be resilient, because we haven't always been allowed in certain places. And the fact that you said that the 20s are strange, and you weren't around the last time that there was the 20s. I wasn't around during the last 20s, but those 20s were a strange time too, weren't they? As far as what we've learned about.
They probably were. But see, but my philosophy is this, is that the good old days are your days. See, they always say, "I want to go back to the good old days." There were no good old days prior to your days, because you believe that your days are the good old days because they're good to you.
Right.
See?
And I always hear very irrational, racist talking points, because when you know, like, if anybody listens to you for 3 months, mm-hmm. and it doesn't even have to be every week, just for 3 months listening to you off and on, their whole ideology about things is going to be, there's going to be a disconnect, because somewhere you're going to interrupt something that they just knew was the truth, and you just blew that up for them. So One thing that always gets the white people is Lewis Latimer, the light bulb. And no, he didn't make the light bulb, but we wouldn't be able to do this right now with these bulbs if it weren't for his invention. I've seen them cry off of just the fact that they didn't know. And I get it. They know how to turn on tears and they know how to do all of these things. But in real time, we've had to create because they won't let us do things. And then this time that they want to go back to, we were the shit. If you ask me, I mean, I'm not saying I want to be whipped and chained up and be somebody's bed warmer or anything like that. But man, we were creating all over the place and all these cool ass inventions. And then like that's us with the skill set and the know-how and the work ethic. God damn it.
I'll never forget is that back in the 70s, we used to go down to the theater district. The theater district in Chicago, they got a big deal. It's a big deal now. But back in the day, a lot of the theaters in the Black community, they kind of closed down. As those theaters closed down, this is before the malls. We started going downtown to the theaters, and so around Theater Row, it used to be a Burger King down there. And so a lot of times after people would go to the theater, a lot of people would go to the Burger King, and it was kind of cool because it was almost like what made it so cool is that it was almost like they had the place in Britain where everybody would come and debate and they would have arguments and stuff like that. But what would happen on a Friday night when you went to the theater, everybody would come out to the theater and they would go up to this Burger King and we would have good debates, good arguments. And I'll never forget one night this white boy came past and he said, "How you think I'm white? I ain't white." He said, my ancestors, this was back in the 70s. He said, "My ancestors were Black, but over time, over time in a sense, my ancestors came marrying and we got light skin, but we really were Black." This was back in the 70s. That's before I even knew what I know today.
Like a white guy, like Rachel Dolezal, or a passing Black. And
no, he was all white passing. He was all white guy. But he said he was really Black and stuff.
Right.
He said, and you got to understand. He said that we are innovators. But he said, but white people make the things that we create look pretty. and he was right. See,
white ice is colder, don't you know?
but that's the whole. But see, we forget. See, that's the thing. That's the thing that blew my mind. This man told me this ish back in the 70s, and I didn't even know until about 2 or 3 years ago about the Black Europeans. I didn't even know. I'd read Waddell and I'd read all that stuff, but I didn't put it together because I'd always been taught all my life that the Winters family was light skinned because some white man probably raped somebody in the damn family, right. And that's everybody got light skin, right. And then in a sense, but nobody ever tell me when the rape happened. The Winters all super light skinned. How the hell they get light skinned? They had to been raped. But then in a sense, when I started putting it all together, that it was already light skinned people over here, light skinned Black people. Yeah. But in my mind, every Black woman was raped. And that's how we got light skin. And so see, I had all this history that nobody ever taught us. W.E. Du Bois, Carter G. Woodson, they never wanted to talk about our European ancestry, our Black European ancestry. In fact, they didn't even want to.
Do you think I'm sorry. Do you think it's because they didn't know, or you think that they had to pick a struggle?
I think that they knew. I think they knew, but they didn't take it to the final step. Okay, we know Dunbar, other Black poets. They, see, most of us don't have a card that says I'm Aboriginal. But the only evidence we got we're Aboriginal is because
grandma.
Grandma said we Aboriginal. Grandma
Grandma
said,
said I was Cherokee.
that's
you
right.
know? So
And so if you call my grandma a lie, I'm gonna fuck you up.
that part.
I'll get my kids to do it now. But anyway, but the thing is this though is that so we had this whole idea. So we've been conditioned to feel that our entire history has been made by the agency of white people, See, and then they said we didn't have a culture, and they said we didn't have a culture because our culture, they took it. Everything we did, they would say, oh, we did it. I like fried chicken. That Southern fried chicken. Massa didn't cook ish.
They got a white guy as the logo man for KFC.
Right, a white guy, but it was a sister who gave him the damn thing. And so we go to Popeyes because at least Popeyes said it was Louisiana. Okay, and so then you got this whole point, and you got this fake history because see they had to make us focus on Africa, and the reason they had to make us focus on Africa is because of the fact, I was talking to my friend Brian today. He's Dr. Short's cousin, and so when I was talking to Brian, I was talking about the fact is that they've always, in a sense, they've always wanted us to focus on Africa, because by focusing on Africa, in a sense, that takes away the money that they've taken from us. You see.
No, I don't see.
Okay, let me explain to you. Okay. We know that maybe 300,000, they say 300,000, I'll say about 1 million. They say about 300,000 sub-Saharan Africans were sold into chattel slavery.
Okay.
We know that there was 300 to 500,000 black Irish were sold into chattel slavery.
Right.
But we know in a sense that the Aboriginal people of America were black.
Right.
We know the first chattel slaves, I mean, just do a Google search and then it'll come up. You look up tobacco, they can always have some black Indians. Okay, so then the first chattel slaves were Aboriginal blacks. Then there were black Europeans. Then there were sub-Saharan Africans. Okay. Right. So then therefore, in a sense, okay, for example, let's look at me. My family grew up in Mississippi, but we were brought from North Carolina to Mississippi, That means that some other members of my family were put in Alabama, Arkansas. So we all over. That's why we all mixed up. Right. That's why we may as well. We already incestuous. Because we don't know who the hell we're marrying. We don't know the ancestry. Okay, so they came out. So I came out here with this stuff, you see, and so then I know that yes, when I really started reading Waddell, they said the winners in Ireland were some strong black thieving niggas. So I guess my ancestry goes, yes, that's what they say. Read Waddell. The winners were thieves. We were always stealing ish. That's what the winners were. And so then when you bring this into account, so then that means in a sense that the Winters clan, see, were from Ireland. That but somebody else now is representing Winters.
Right.
But I'm a descendant of the real Winters. So you owe me money in Europe.
Okay, I like that. That makes sense.
And then in a sense, there was a Winters in a sense who was made a chattel slave. When he's a chattel slave, he made it with an Aboriginal Indian. And when he made it with the Aboriginal Indian, when they fled the plantation, they went back to the Cherokee, Cree, Choctaw, whatever. And then in a sense, you started having Choctaw, Seminoles, and Cree called winners. Not Nemoni, not the Nemoni of the sun, but Winters.
Right.
So then therefore, you have all this relativity. But the thing is, this is that you owe me money. You owe me money not just because of the fact that I was a chattel slave, and that you didn't pay my ancestors. You took the land from our forefathers in Ireland. You took that land over with your white butt. Now you're pretending to be the founder of the Winners Clan. You see,
Right.
but see, I was too dumb to really understand that, Clyde. Why did we even get the idea that the slave master wanted us to have that name? They held you in contempt. They didn't see you somebody that was representative.
Right,
so they
right.
didn't. So that's why a lot of times they had that name. Okay, then like they'll say, oh yeah, on the plantation, some granddaddy uncle, somebody had a slave. Yeah, okay, good. You see, but then it's so complicated. And so what makes it even more complicated is that we went through an ethnogenesis. And because we went through this ethnogenesis, then that's what made us eventually evolve into what's called foundational Black Americans. But even though we went through this ethnogenesis, we have dreams. We have dreams. We have, in a sense, ideas. We have wants and we have desires. And see, it's these wants, it's these desires, and it's these dreams that make life like art. You see, because see, it's these dreams that we want to materialize.
That part, right? Yeah, see? Absolutely. I get it, and I get it now. That's a heck of a point. They wanted to rape our minds. Our minds that get pregnant with thoughts. Right? We've talked about this before, and then. If you can take over a person's identity and then put them on pause, so while you scramble and fix the paperwork and do all of this, and then, okay, fine, you guys can read now because, whatever, it's your language anyway, or maybe we need some help with some of this stuff. So we need some of y'all to we actually need you to read because we don't know what this means. And hopefully we didn't beat it out of you 200 years ago.
No, they didn't beat it out of us.
Nigga, do you remember? Or something.
But see, this is what happened is that we willingly, many of us willingly gave away our identity because we always felt and we feel today is that if we go along, we can get along. And that's been a very bad idea in terms of Europeans, because when you go along with them, they feel in a sense they want to dominate you. It's just like now, these people that hate you, these people want to kill you. These people created a system to destroy you, and yet they can't kill us all off. Number two, even though they hate us, we still find a way to be successful. And even though in a sense they established a system of racism to hold us back, we continue to grow. And see, this is the thing that makes us a unique people, you see. That's why we're the majority of this country, and yet we allow white people to think that we're a minority. And we allow white people, in a sense, to feel that they control us. Because we feel we'll go along to get along. I mean, come on.
No, the majority of us have been go along to get along, and I've always just chalked it up to, or at least when I had my awakening, just that we're such an old people, and we've always been here. We will always be here. So this glitch that's happening right now with this white skin or no melanin, this is a glitch. It's a blip in the time warp. If we've been here for 100,000 years and they've been here for 5,000 years, that's like in 30 minutes on the clock of 24-hour day.
Right.
So it's, to me, I feel like that's why we've been so.
But just think about it. Just think about it. Benjamin Franklin wrote in 1751. Remember what he wrote in 1751? You have 1851, 1951, 200 years.
Right.
Almost 300 years. He said that the only white people on the planet were the Anglo-Saxons.
Right.
And so what that means is that in a little over 200 years, these people who are all black became, in a sense, white Caucasians.
Right. Right.
I know how it happened because they went and got those Ukrainian women, leave them hoes alone. You think I'm lying?
That's a good point. That's the I was just talking with my man about this the other day, and not this specifically, but he said, think about all the white people you know. And then I did. And then I grew up around a lot of WASPs, you know, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, something. I don't know what that
That's it. White, Anglo-Saxon, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant.
Right.
You're right.
And those white people are the white people, and then everybody else is like, you know, you've got white skin, and that's good for you, but you're not like us. That they've been saying that since I was in grade school. That there's this separation of them, and then I get so confused with us that can't do that. But maybe it's just because they haven't been around white people who do that. You know, they've been around the other whites, the more inclusive whites, but they're not inclusive as much as they want to be included.
But there is no such thing as inclusive whites.
Oh, I know.
They can't be inclusive.
But I mean, so what we just said, the English and Anglos are the only whites. But
yeah, that's the way it used to be.
I'm saying, like, even right now, you know, you've got the whites, and then you've got Colombian, who is white, but she's not white, but she's white enough, and then she would be an inclusive white because she wants to be white, even though she's got the white skin.
But her culture, but she has an African culture.
Of course, but they don't. I've Colombians, if you're not melanated, I have not seen one that even acknowledges the.
Even the melanated ones don't acknowledge it, but they have.
No, I know that.
Listen. Where do you find the most illegitimate babies? Where do you find a lot of baby mamas and a lot of baby daddies? In Latin America. How did they get that way?
Huh?
For slavery.
Huh? That's
all
right. You mean the colonization of, or the moving around? I know that's kind of related. I'm trying to be specific. Thank you. Okay, go ahead. The indigenous people of Mexico, they try to say that they're indigenous. They don't want to say they're black. They don't want to say they're white. They don't want to even say
most of them were bred out.
Right.
Most Mexicans today are mestizos.
There you go. But then the mestizo means that they can associate with Aboriginal Mexicans.
No,
right?
mestizo mean that they're the product of Indian and black women being raped by the Spanish. That's why, in a sense, when you look at it, in a sense, when you study in a sense the genetics of most Latino people, most of their genes are black genes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get that.
They're just sometimes light skinned, but their culture. I mean, that's where you see a lot of people, a lot of single mothers, a lot of premarital sex, all that type of stuff. That all comes from what? Comes from the fact that they're products of a slave culture.
So then that actually brings us back to a point from earlier, and then I know we'll probably go to commercial, but them making us believe that our last names come from them, and then they'll show you they'll say, look at this slave record. You know, see, it just says nigga, 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 you know, and then it's all on the Jones plantation, right? So then of course you're a Jones, you came from the Jones plantation. But then when you go
look at the real, when you look at the real, when you see some of the slaves, Clyde Winters, Clyde McCain, Mary Bethune, Harriet Tubman. How the hell? But remember, the master name Mac Bain. See, but it was how in a sense people hijacked our history. They hijacked our history, and we didn't have people in a sense that really wanted to deal with our history. Just like they've hijacked our sociology. They've hijacked everything, you see. Because the fact in a sense is that many of us don't know who we are. Because see, to know who we are, we have to first begin with what? With loving ourselves. And we go through so much. Sandra Hinton, she's one of my former students, and Sandra, what she made me understand is that we go through so much disassociation. We try to in a sense live outside of our bodies, and the way we live outside of our bodies, the number one way is the so-called idea of double consciousness, whereas I act one way when I'm with you, and I act another way when I'm with European.
Okay. So the code thing.
Yeah, so she convinced me that double consciousness is not such a good thing. It's a way that we're able to disassociate ourselves, and now we can stay with something else. See, the majority of us, because of the fact that we live in a society where the images are basically Caucasian or white oriented, we try to do everything we can to run away from being Black. And then go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
And at the same time, we're running away from being Black. The entire culture that's practiced by the society is a Black culture. The music, the foods, even the language, everything. Yes. See? And
that's why, well, when you say, I guess this is the only reason I've never really had an issue with this, but I'm going to say it's an issue right now. When you say critical race theory, that I know that I say that it's not theory because we have evidence. So there's no more theory when you've got evidence. But how you describe it with the three things, that makes more sense to me, because I don't know if they hate us. I know that they're jealous, and jealousy is like a
no.
They're not jealous.
They're envious.
Okay.
They're envious because jealous means that they think you're going to replace them. Some of them may think that we're going to replace them, but the system of white supremacy will never allow us to totally replace them.
And it's so crazy because nature is doing its thing on y'all people. So it has nothing to do with us replacing you as much as, as a glitch. You weren't supposed to exist like this anyway. Running into the warmth of the earth when it was freezing outside and no food and such, that seems to be a survival tactic that people didn't have any thought about what's going to happen later.
And look at them even to this day. Look how they still focus on underground. They talk about the underground cities they built. Mm-hmm. They're always building to prepare for nuclear war. They wanted to build in a sense, shelter bunkers underground. They're always going back because that's where they feel safest, underground. We feel safest in the sunshine. Right. We feel safest in a sense sitting on the front porch. We feel safe on the front porch. Yeah, it might be a drive-by, but after they drive by, we get back on the porch. When a sister's raising her babies, if she's smart, she gets a rocking chair. Why? Because she can sit in the rocking chair, and while she's sitting in the rocking chair, she can hold the baby, and the baby may go to sleep a little bit.
Yes.
Then it's funny though, as they get older and the babies get older, I don't need a damn rocket chair. But when they're little,
man, I love the rocking chair that we have. And I never thought that we would have a rocking chair because I didn't have it until the 20s.
You got the babies.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm trying to think if I had a different type of rocking chair with Daria, the first, and then
it's not always with the first, but at least by around, it depends. My wife we had 6. So at least by the third.
And by the third, if you haven't figured that mommy level up about the rocking chair, then you are doing it wrong.
Then at first the baby sleeps in his own bed. Eventually they get their own bed. But while they're little, you put the baby in bed with you, so when they want that breast, they can just grab it. There you could just turn it over and you can just get all you want. Just I got to get me some sleep. See, and so then and you had a rocking chair, so you or your man in the middle of the night sometime, you can't get up every night at 2 and stay up from 2 to 3 because you got to go to work. So sometimes he got to get there. And the best way to be able to handle that baby is to have that rocking chair. So you can walk around. But at the same time, life is like art because we have so many dreams and so many ideas that we want to make real. Sometimes we do. But I truly believe, and I know a lot of people say, Dr. Winters, you're full of ish. But I believe that you get everything in life that you want. It may not be to the degree that you wanted it, but you get everything in life that you want. And see, it's just that you had to understand that. And you had to understand that we had to go through our FBA roots. I got to play Yoshi's video.
Yoshi, where you at, Yoshi?
Pretend anymore. The truth is in your face. FBA roots, FBA roots, FBA roots. Oh, no need to pretend anymore. The truth is in your face. FBA roots, FBA roots, FBA roots. The Moors once ruled from woman to man. In Europe's heart, they wanted our land. Dr. Clyde reveals the hidden past, where blackness thrived, a vivid past. No need to pretend anymore. The truth is in your face. FBA roots, FBA roots, FBA roots. Oh, no need to pretend anymore. The truth is in your face. FBA roots, FBA roots, FBA roots. From roots to moors, the truth is told. Stories of strength, being black is bold. Cultures blended, histories merged. A bond of funk, our souls converge. European tales, they twisted well to hide the truth, but their plans soon fail. See, Dr. Clyde's light shines beyond bright. We the black aboriginals are righteous in this fight. Are righteous in this fight. European tales, they twisted well. Roots, FBA roots, FBA roots. Face FBA roots, FBA roots, FBA roots.
I love Yoshi's videos, and because again, in a sense, they are so apropos. And what I love about it is that he takes our history, he takes our culture, and he gives it meaning. He makes it stand out, and so. That's why I really love it. And I hope you guys will go to yoshimod.gumroad.com and buy some of his support him in his videos and stuff like that. Because the brother has some things that are just so fantastic, so wonderful, And I know that that what I like about him is that he I like anime, and because I like anime, and he makes his stuff look so beautiful in terms of the anime aspects that a lot of times I'm enamored by looking at that stuff, And but again, it's just interesting.
Yoshi is a genius, and you might not be blessed to know one in your square, or maybe you do. Maybe it's you. I don't know, but I do know that when you start to seek like-minded individuals, you find that your circle not your square, your circle is a mix of people at different levels of understanding. And then hopefully you guys can level each other up. So I think Yoshi is a wonderful addition to our little circle over here. And he's so creative. Like you said, if you're gonna use AI, I think that you should take a gander at his model, and then maybe I posted his Gumroad in the chat. You know, send him some support. Show him
right.
you care. You know,
I'm gonna play one more of his videos.
Yeah.
Glow for the world to see. Beautiful vibrations, share your thoughts with me. Beautiful vibrations, glow for the world to see. Beautiful vibration, present your best work to me. Beautiful vibrations, glow to the world, see your beautiful vibrations. Share your thoughts with me, beautiful vibration. Glow for the world to see, beautiful vibration. Present your best work to me. Beautiful vibrations, glow for the world to see. Beautiful vibrations, share your thoughts with me. Beautiful vibration, glow for the world to see. Beautiful vibration, present your best work to me. Creative spirit, create me something beautiful. Creative spirit, draw me something useful. Creative spirit, create to create, demonstrate pure faith that holds weight. Creative spirit, imagine you're creating. Imagine you're exploring. Imagine you're in the future. Imagine you're in the past. Imagine you're me and never last. Imagine the deep soul that entwines. Imagine what really goes down. Yeah, imagine we create. Imagine a universe created by me. Beautiful vibrations, close on the world to see. Beautiful vibrations, share your thoughts with me. Beautiful vibration, glow for the world to see. Beautiful vibration, present your best work.
Yeah, beautiful vibrations. You know, it's just that when I think back, and I know Eve that you don't have to don't follow me down this path. You know, it is so wonderful. It's so wonderful when you can look back over your life, and that's what makes pictures so good. Is that when you look over your life and you think about the things you wanted, because I really believe for some reason, I don't really think it was fun, but it seems as though I remember a lot of music from 1967 and especially 1968. Now I do think 1968 was a good year. I was a junior. There's a couple of girls I liked, you know, and they seemed like they liked me. It was some good music, you know, and so it was that year always just shows up. I don't understand why 67 a little bit the Four Tops. And 67, I always hear a lot of Four Top music from 67. But do you know what, Eve?
What's that?
I don't like the Four Tops. I don't like them. Why the hell do you always come in my memory, Four Tops? I don't like your music. I don't like your music, but you always show up in my memory of being a good time, you know. And it's crazy, you know. Crazy So Far said, I post a lot of us in New York, why, whatever, and soul music from that era, Dr. Winters. Melba Moore is one of my followers. You know, Melba Moore, she was cool. She was cool with a little short butt, but I liked it. Yes. It was see, Eve. What made the 70s and especially the 80s and 90s so beautiful is that this is the first time that we started seeing Black people on TV. I know you've heard about how somebody would call up your cousins, uncles, brothers, sisters, friends would call up whenever a Black person was on TV. And so then, and that's one of the reasons why they were able to make the CW and a couple other channels by just having a lot of Black shows on there. We didn't know they was just playing with us, you know. We didn't know that they were just showing these shows just to get us to be supportive. But we still watched them, and it was fun. It was fun to watch these shows. It was fun to see Black people and laugh at Black people, and it made you feel, you know, some of it was real. You know, I never felt that Bill Cosby show was really. Bill Cosby show, I loved it, but it didn't. I never saw myself in that picture. Even though I was college, I had college education, all that type of shit. I never really. I loved this show, but I didn't see me in that. But I saw myself with Martin and other shows, you know.
That's funny.
Weird. I mean,
that's so funny because, you know, you're everybody's Baba right now. You know, she calls you Baba Winters, you know, so, and then Bill Cosby being America's dad, for at least Black America's dad. And then, yeah, you got other people from all over different cultures who really like the Cosby Show. And it's just such a good, wholesome, you know, display. He said, don't go down this hole. I don't know why you wouldn't want me to. Ron Friedman, you know who that is? He was one of the masterminds behind Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Go ahead.
So I talked to him one time or a couple times, and he talked about how, well, he's a lot older than me, and I think he's older than you too.
Well, he'd have to be in his 80s. I doubt that.
No, I think he is in his 80s. He might be in his 90s. Hold on, let's see. He was born in 1932. So.
Oh yeah, he's older than me.
So he's talking about representation and how cartoons and he's a white guy, and Friedman, right? That's him. So he's talking about how Superman was one of the first or something like that, and then other characters, you could hear them on the radio, but to see something was just this monumental thing for children. And I think about why we even would participate in such a thing, television, like Teresa said in the chat. And it's because of the representation. You go out into the world and you see you, or you see whatever it is you see, you turn on the TV and it's not the same at all. It's like, wait a minute. I mean, even though I grew up in a diverse-ish area, I still saw way more white people on TV than I ever saw in my actual life. And I'm like, okay, they're doing this thing because I guess it's so many of them. But that's what we talked about before the commercial, before the videos. They want us to go along, to get along. We know it's more of us than them, but okay, they want to feel like they're the big ones in the room, and a lot of us are letting them do that. And it's not about what they want to feel. They are doing these power moves on us left and right because we're just allowing it to happen. So maybe people feel like they're Goliath and they're, the opposition is David. But I think that the Bible said that David beat Goliath. So, if you're this big thing and, you can get got by a little thing, maybe something should be done to protect yourself, even though you don't think that you need it. You know, you're this big entity, you're a giant, and their little boy, he's not going to do anything to me. And then that ego is, damn, it sounds like 400 years of oppression or an interruption, you know, because of ego. And then again, if people listen to you for like 3 months, you're going to say something that's going to fuck up their whole reality. And not this, not maliciously, but just with the truth. And the truth of the matter is, they're not the majority. The truth of the matter is, that we've done a lot of things that people don't want to give us credit for.
Just think about it. They hate you. They want to kill you. They don't want to allow you to compete with them. Now, if they were the majority, would they mind you competing with them?
No, because it would be more of them.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But see, anytime they allow us to compete, we take it over. Look at the Olympics. You know, look at basketball, football.
Oh no, don't look at basketball and football because those are nigga sports. Look at baseball, tennis, water polo. Look at anything that we.
Yeah, but even tennis. When we had before my brother got his ass beat, you know, the compilation, whatever he was, that compilation before he got his ass beat, he was dominating the golf, and they told him he better stop, you know, and he's going around with that little teenage girl, white girl, that they could have put him in jail. And so then the whole point is that, but see, that just show how stupid we are. You know, we don't never, you know, we're very silly people when it come to women, you know, and vaginas. I was thinking the other day back when I was younger. I think I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about you know, oh yeah, I was talking today to Dr. Short's cousin, and we were talking about in a sense back in the day how he had the same incident that I had. That I was I'm not being egotistical, but I was a very handsome man when I was younger, and then in a sense, it was just the idea that I lost count.
Saying that like you just got ugly or something.
I did get ugly.
You're not ugly.
I got overweight. I lost my muscles, and you know when I had muscles, I talked like this. And how you doing, Eve? But then when I got fat, I started talking like this. But then we were talking about the fact today. Me and Brian, he's a cousin of Dr. Short. We were talking about when we were younger, how you get these jobs and then these women, they want to make you have sex with them. And then if you don't have sex with them, you lose your job. That wasn't fair. You know, and that happened to me. That happened to me a couple of times. He said it only happened to him once. It happened to me a couple of times that these people, you know, I don't have to take because see, a lot of women would think because every man's supposed to want every woman. See, your man wants you, Eve. Maybe he'll cheat, maybe he won't, but he wants you. I wanted my baby doll. That's what I wanted. So you can be beautiful as hell. I love looking at beautiful women. I love to be around beautiful women, but that doesn't mean that I may want you. And then I mean now a lot of beautiful women are interested in me, but I know back in the day they would have felt I was beneath them because I was dark. But since I was a football player in college, maybe they would have gave me a play. But the thing is this, though, is that I have to understand that. Think back. Come on now, Eve. Think back, and you know, with certain guys, you know, back in the day, didn't want to talk to you, but then when you became the it woman, they want to talk to you, and you say, who the hell does this Nick think he is? I remember when you didn't like me. I remember when you didn't think I had enough. I didn't have enough hair. I remember when you told me to keep wearing that wig and stuff. You know, come on now, tell the truth and shame the devil.
There, but you made me think about something I saw earlier, and it's I guess it's rape culture, but women just think that they can throw themselves at men, and it's not supposed to be considered assault or rapey or anything. But if that man were to have done that on his own, to her, then it's all sorts of crime, and the rules are not fair. And I get it. And
You can't
I was
even.
live with Dr. Short earlier this week about penises, and
Yeah, I saw that thing.
it's so bad that men can't complain. I say complain like this because I don't think reporting a crime is complaining, but this is how society has conditioned us, that if you say something against a woman who's throwing herself at you, it's a complaint, or you're being a beta.
You're being a sissy.
A
You're being a
sissy.
punk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're being a sissy. They think you're a sissy because they feel that you should go ahead and take advantage of it. You know, your father would have been proud of you.
Thank you. What are you doing? Go to bed. I think that it's so strange that they are so brazen in this behavior. I watched this video and the woman is shaking her behind, right? Use my rated G language while the minis are downstairs, or while he's downstairs. Anyway, she's shaking her booty on this man in his face. I mean, it's like in his face.
Right.
She got her leg up here, and she's just, and he's like, "No, I'm good." It was a DJ, and she's like, "What do you mean you're good? You're gonna take this?" And then she continues to do that thing, and I'm like, "Yo, I've seen the same video where the guy is just dancing up on the girl. She turns around, sees it's not somebody she wants to dance with, and she moves away." And it's supposed to be okay. She wasn't disrespectful to him. She just kind of, like everybody's having a good time until she, "Oh, I don't want to be dancing with you. Let me go somewhere else." So I've seen that video. I've seen in real life girls say very nasty things to guys, but that woman who was throwing herself at that man and he didn't want it, and she's like, "I don't care if you don't want it. I'm going to keep doing it." I'm like, whoa, that's insane. But it's a life imitating art, imitating life. It's this clusterfuck of this chaotic mess. Ask Dari to help you. It's a mess when you think about it, because you turn on the TV, and if a girl is forward and she knows what she wants, then the guy's going to want to be with her because she looks good. She got a nice body. You know, she can act like that. But if it's a dude like you got your baby doll, you're chilling, attractive. Sure, people can appreciate beauty when they see it, but that doesn't mean you get to rape me. You don't get to just do whatever you want to me because we're two attractive people. You know, what's going on? And I'm like, you know, those people they watch too much TV. But then on the opposite side of things, you know, you've got people wanting their life to be something like a movie. You know, they like the reality TV aspect of the recording or whatever.
But when I was talking to Brian today, and you know, and it's just that and you think back how you thought you were cool with the woman. But then in a sense, after she throws herself at you and you don't take advantage, then they're mad at you. Then eventually they find a way to get you put off your job and stuff. And it's kind of sad, you know, and that's just the way it is, you know.
No, it's more sad because those same women said he wouldn't promote me because I wouldn't.
They can get away with that, but you can't say that.
That's insane.
You just because see, you can't say that because the culture says that as a man you should have been ready to hit it, and you should have hit it because that's what men do. See, that's what your father taught you. Your father never once said, "Clyde, if there's a woman, you should if she's there, you should always try to get that vagina, get that GG." See. Your father never said it, but you always remember that smile on your father's face when you said you had your first girlfriend. how he just Clyde's not gay.
There it is. Oh, see, that's what it is.
I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget that day.
That is so funny.
Yeah. And
fathers have to it's got to be a beautiful thing. I've seen, I want to say it was Dr. Phil or a show like Dr. Phil, where the father, it was a white man, and his son didn't want to be a boy no more or a man anymore.
Oh wow.
He's crying. The father is crying, and I'm feeling for him. I'm like, yeah, there goes your grandchildren. There goes you. Y'all are done, son. You're done. If you don't have any other boys in your line, you're done. You're not going past go. You don't get to collect your $200. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't love your children. I don't know how y'all do your thing, not you, but y'all, anybody.
Males, how we see it.
I feel y'all, to your son to show interest in a girl. That's gotta be a proud moment. Like you didn't fuck them up, or you didn't make them
right.
Like
I told my sons, I said, please, I don't want any of you to have children out of wedlock. Please marry. If you get a woman pregnant, please marry her so that I can see my grandchildren. I would like to see my grandchildren, most, only one out of 5 decided he would be different. But the whole point is that I still love him and I love them, and that's still my daughter. But the point is that that's why life is like art, because we create these images. We've already painted, on our easel of life, we've already painted, well, this many is going to do this, and that many is going to do that. And I got my lawyer there, I got my doctor there, that one may be an insurance man. I don't know. He looked like, I don't know what he's going to do, and she's going to do this. Just like, then these things happen. But see, a lot of times you have to adjust, because I remember in a sense is that, I remember when my sons went away to college, one by one, and they came back, And so they went to college and they came home, but my wife my daughter went to college and she graduated. But but they went to college. I got them all in school. They could have stayed, but then later they changed. And then one day, I was just thinking to myself, I had dreams for you. I knew your life. I'd already painted a picture of who you were going to be, but you broke my heart. Oh. What are you saying? I said you broke my heart. They broke my heart because
I said it in English.
Yeah, because see, I had you act like I didn't have dreams for you. It's not that I'm mad at you. It's not that I'm trying to say you owe me anything, but it was just I expected things to be different. And see, that's why whenever somebody tells you that life is not like art, they're lying to you, because we want things made in a certain way. Just like when you met your partner or whatever, it's okay at first, but then you expect this or that to be a certain way, and then sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you don't really talk to him about it. You may not even talk to your friends about it, but you still have expectations. That's it, expectations. Yes. And that expectations, those are the things that are on your easel. Those are the things that you take and you're painting on your easel, is the expectations you have for your children and the expectations you have in relationship to your partner, your man or your woman.
That's beautiful. And it's so real, because you said something that I do agree with to an extent, with a caveat maybe, or a disclaimer, that we do get everything that we want, but it might not be to the degree that we want it. I believe that you can have everything you want. You will have to do the work to get it, though. And then, sometimes people say, I didn't really want that like that. I'm good here. I want to make six figures, which is $500,000 or $100,000, right? But in your head, you're like, six figures, I'm gonna make six figures. And then you get there and you're like, I really meant I wanted to be a millionaire, but this is nice.
This is good.
Teaching the minis how to draw. I don't know what y'all think is involved with teaching someone how to draw or do art, but I think I'm not the instructor that you would want for this, because it's all about application to me. If you want to draw well, you're going to have to sit here and draw, and it's going to be shitty in the beginning, or it might not be, or at least you're not going to like it because it's not meeting your expectations.
But I looked at those people who taught art, looked like a lot of times that they concentrate on teaching you in the beginning stages to draw circles. Mm-hmm. And then you have to have your eraser, but it looks like you move from that perspective. I don't know, because like I said, we had art teachers, but usually in a sense, out of 46 years of teaching, usually that art teacher was whenever the budget was shaky, our teacher
goes first. Yeah.
Bye. And then over the kids still had art, but they would just send a substitute into your class for that hour. That's not fair, is it? To me, I don't think it was fair.
No, but I think that was one of the worst things that public school could have done, was take out the arts and then they replaced it with these other things. And not that the other things couldn't be electives or whatever, but you don't have home ec anymore. You don't have wood shop. You don't have mechanic shop. And I think that the hands-on trade is a move, but because everybody's not going to college, but the public school system is working just fine. It's about how we are looking at education. And then go ahead.
But it's not working fine. It's not working fine because, see, we have these hiccups. Because I remember the period when kids were supposed to write how they talked, and so you would have so they felt this would help the kids to
We're
learn
still there right now,
and it didn't help them. It didn't help them.
Horrible.
What I found, and by my later years, I found that I had to teach English as a second language in my classroom. What are you talking about, Dr. Winters? Well, the thing is that just because we speak a dialect of English, and even when you're teaching white students, when these white kids, they come with a dialect just like the black kids. So if they don't learn standard English, they don't really learn how to become proficient in writing in the English language. And so a lot of times it's much more complicated. And then when they made it so that you didn't even teach spelling, what the hell is this? Dr. Winters, don't you be teaching spelling? I heard that you was having the kids. I'm sorry, Miss Ellis. Shit, I'm gonna teach them spelling when your ass ain't around. But no, I'm serious.
You have to do that if you're a teacher worth your weight. You're going to do these things because it's going to make your job easier. I can't sit here and tell you how painful it is to read text talk in a third grader. They can't spell anyway. So then for them to put their own spelling on the words because it's the best way they know how to do it. Yeah. I kind of get that, but I also remember having to get the damn dictionary and look it up. But that's a skill that they don't teach anymore.
And they don't have, and you go around the school. Where's the dictionaries? Oh, Mr. Winters, they're in the storeroom, and you're not bringing them out. Can I get a dictionary? You're not bringing them out. What the hell is this?
Well, that's why I say public school system is working the way it's supposed to, because it was not intended to be a place of learning as much as it was a programmable environment.
That's why I'm against AKAs, Alpha Kappa Alphas. They run the schools, and these women, in a sense, whatever master tell them, I don't care if it's a black master who's an AKA school superintendent, but anyway, whatever master say, they go off for that. They don't know how to. AKAs do not. AKAs, they in the clique. They get the teaching jobs, but they don't really want to teach our children. They go off what's popular, and they don't, in a sense, really understand that when you're teaching Black kids, you got to show a little love. Got to show a little love. Even as a man, you got to show a little love to your kids, and you get more out of them by showing them that you love them. Because see, I found, in a sense, this is what I found, Eve. I found that kids work up to your expectations.
Yes.
What did you say? You got a bunch of dumbass kids. These are Black children. They can't read or write. They can't spell. But if you have a high expectations, they'll meet it.
They will.
They will meet it.
Absolutely.
Meet it.
They sure, every time too. And it's surprising because, first of all, they were told that they couldn't do it anyway. And then they get to a person like you or me, and it's like, no. We don't even use those words around here. You know, you might not be able to do it yet, but you will figure it out. And I've gotten a lot of productivity out of my students just by giving a damn. You know, people don't care because they don't have time to care. But
it took me 10 years to find that out, because I was teaching. We were co-teaching. And so I was teaching 5th grade, and this other lady was teaching 6th grade, and she's the one. So my kids had to compete with her kids, but then I learned. I said, "Damn, if I think they can do it, they do it." And that's why I found after a while, we used to have to take district tests in 3rd, 6th, and 8th. Mm-hmm. So I was either teaching 6th or 8th. And so in teaching six, if your kids don't pass the state test and the district test, they have to take the grade over. Mm-hmm. So then I always told my kids, I said, hell, if you fail that test, I'm going to for the rest of the semester, you're going to pass the test. So, but see, I knew that if I told them in September, you're going to pass the test, you're going to pass the district test. I only had one girl. And I didn't try to punish her. I only had one girl out of teaching 6th grade for about 10 years. I only had one girl, in a sense, that failed the district state test. But I didn't try to punish her. Even though she had to come back to my class, I didn't try to, make her feel bad and stuff. Even though I had told her, I told him I was going to do that. But I think, it was just a coincidence. I mean, one out of hundreds. One out of what? I taught for 10 years, about 25 students. One out of 2,500, I mean, 1 out of 250. 10 times 25, 250. Out of 250, I mean, damn. I got a starter. And I couldn't.
I'm sorry. No, there are such things as terrible test takers. Yeah. We're going to give her that title. Because some kids trick themselves out of being successful because that voice in the back of their head that you replaced in some of them, they mama, daddy, or somebody else a little bit louder. And,
But see, what I did is that I had fun teaching. I had fun teaching from September to Christmas. I had fun teaching. I taught everything the way the so-called quote unquote curriculum was. But then in January, I would start practicing for the test. So I would give them practice every day, at least 20 minutes every day. We would practice taking the test, and then they could pass the test. But see, people don't understand is that practice makes perfect. That's what Grandma said, didn't she?
That's true.
Practice makes perfect. And so when you take these traditions and you put it in the classroom, you find that you can be ineffective. So I found that around January, I would start still teaching them stuff. But the thing is that I would try to teach them, in a sense, test taking skills, because see, here's the whole point. See, the thing that these statewide and district tests are messed up, and they're messed up because the fact is they're not testing the kids at their level.
No.
Everything, they're testing them in a sense to see if they're going to go above.
Right.
And yes. so then that makes the test. I was as an educational psychologist, I've done a lot of that. So I felt that testing was no good. Just like when I was teaching college, in a sense. Then I would always explain to my students. I said that the only way I would know if you learned is that I would have to cut your brain open and look where the synapses are. And then if I see some growth in a certain place, I can say, "Oh, you've learned." But I said that whenever I give you a test, that test doesn't show how much you learn. What are you talking about, Dr. Winters? I said that test doesn't show how much you've learned. I was teaching graduate school, and so I was teaching people getting their masters. I would explain to them that test only shows what you know when you took the test. It doesn't show what you've learned in the course. It just shows what you were able to do the day that you took the test. Right. So then that's how you got to look at education. Education, in a sense, teaching is relative, but in a way you have to understand this whole idea. But a lot of people, they think they're brilliant because they get A's and B's. See, why do white people do good on a IQ test? Because most of the time they have good instruction prior to the test. See, remember, an IQ test only tests what you know.
Right.
You can only know these things because you've been educated in that area.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yes, that's why a lot of people understand the IQ test. It just shows that you were able to take that test at a certain time. See, but again, I'm in my wife one day. She said, "Quiet." I said, "What, baby doll? Baby?" She said, "I don't understand why people allow y'all to just." I was teaching at Governor State and St. Xavier over the summer, and so then so then my wife said, "I don't understand how these people can, how y'all can stand to fail somebody who's spending all that money to take your class." I said, "What?" I said, "But she said none of those people should ever fail because they're spending all that money, and you should be ashamed of yourself if somebody took your class and they failed."
Oh, that's heavy.
It was heavy. After that, I stopped trying to make tests to really kind of fail people. I would make tests. Oh yes, I could do that.
No, that's great. That's good.
I would make tests to really get them to show me what they knew about the subject instead of trying to make the test so I could trick them.
Yeah, there's too many teachers who, they're trying to trick the student. They're smarter than a fifth grader. You're supposed to be smarter. You're the instructor. And I like that.
I'm not about teaching my college classes. I try to make the test so they could pass too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Especially in college, when you're paying for it, that's why I'm like, that's so deep, because not only do they not have to show up for something that they've paid for, most freshmen in college don't have that understanding until later in the year, or even when they're a sophomore. Like, damn, I paid and I got to take this class again. Shit, let me make my way to class, or
And I used to try to get my students to work in groups, because a lot of times when you teach, it was hard to get. It was very hard when you're teaching Black students. But I was teaching at Governor State, so most of my students were white. But I know the whites would always work in groups, and they would, if you're teaching a subject, one person in the group would take this part of the instruction, another would take this part. Then they would keep teaching each other. And I would try to encourage my Black students and Spanish students, join some of them. I was doing well until Obama became. When Obama became president, that's when I started. A lot of my white students, especially the Beckies, they really started a lot of shit. Because before Obama was president, I had a good rapport with the people. But it looked like after Obama became president, a lot of white people did not like being taught by a Black person.
Yeah.
I think they felt it was just too overwhelming. We got this nig in the White House, and now you being my professor. And it was Becky's too. It was the Becky's. They'd be the ones starting trouble in the classes. And it was just weird, because I had been teaching in a sense But then around between during the Obama administration, that's when I started having, white women just starting trouble in my class and stuff. They just couldn't. They couldn't take
it.
They couldn't take a brother. They couldn't take a brother being president and a brother teaching them too.
Yeah, it's like compounded interest of just this. Well,
but it was weird.
They always, the Beckys have always had an issue anyway, because, when it comes to rights, Black men got the right before white women got the right, because white women and white men have a power struggle thing going on.
But it was weird. Before Obama, I had good relations. I got good evaluations. I had beautiful evaluations and stuff, And I didn't have people looking at me very mean and stuff. But then after Obama became president, those Beckys, they just started looking at me much more meaner and much more suspicious. Those Beckys are a blip. And but I just said, but it just looked like they just said it's enough having a damn Black president. I'll be damned if I'm gonna have this Black professor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, during Obama administration, it's like that before Obama, the highest you can do is be my teacher, nigga, fine, whatever. But then in real time, it's like, oh shit, you niggas can go to the White House. Oh no, I'm gonna glitch and creates a junior
and then a brown skinned brother and a damn brown skinned sister. What the hell is this? It wasn't like Kamala, she could, they could, she would have been maybe they would have maybe felt a little comfortable with it. With kind of, she's not that light skinned she's not as light skinned as my cousins. All my cousins were super light skinned, but again, they would have felt more comfortable with her. But I just think that it was just too much for my adult students at that time to have this Black man teaching them, and he's supposed to know more than you, and he could, and you're not even doing well on this test. So you know that he knows that you know more than him. And it was just that a lot of Beckys just started acting strange. They just started acting different, and so Obama being president caused a whole lot of trouble for many of us who were teaching white people. They just couldn't take that, the damn nation being ran by a bunch of niggas, and now I got a nigga in front of me. A lot of y'all might be out there saying, Dr. Winter, stop saying nigga. Well, it's what you say when you're with the family. So what the hell? Yeah. But the thing is this, is that it was just weird. But I mean, it's just one of those things.
That's it's so strange, especially this week, is the Nat Turner uprising anniversary, and then you got the Haitian Revolution anniversary this week, and it's when Black people are rising to the occasion that they start to enact punishments on the Black people who are the get along people. And then it's like, well, damn, I didn't even do nothing. Why are you coming so hard at me?
I'm coming, make my I didn't do nothing, man. Come on, man. Please don't hurt me. Spirit Wonder says, my auntie, my mom's youngest sister, is lighter than Kamala Harris, but Kamala is still not Black. She's Black. She's not FBA. Don't get it twisted. She is Black.
It's the race thing that we might, well, you probably have already done it, but it's the racial classifications that have people stuck on stupid right now, because Black is.
I wrote what? I wrote about 20 articles, at least 20 articles and 5 books on the fact that the Tamil people are Black, and they even said they were Black. So I know she's Black. She's not FBA, and that's the whole point. I will never, ever, may God strike me down, I will never vote for another non-FBA person to be president. Never, ever, never. You see, we thought, I mean, that's how Gaddafi, our great African leader, that's how he got killed. He believed in Obama. Obama said, Gaddafi over there, you let all your enemies out and let your enemies be around you. And stop worrying, get rid of that. You don't have to worry about an atomic bomb. You got your black brother over here as president. And what they do, they killed Gaddafi.
Killed him.
They humiliated him. It took, you know, they was sticking stuff up his ass, and yet one of the people luckily shot Gaddafi. But that's because they believed in it. I'm not believing in no tether. I'm sorry.
Nope. No, and
you did say you come from Wisconsin. I mean, you did say you come from Washington. You did say you come from that area, didn't you? And you know, but I mean, that's the way it is that I'm not following nobody that's not FBA. I'm just tired of that because see, an FBA person, they couldn't have did that. They couldn't have stood by and did that. And the whole world thought that Obama was FBA.
Right.
That's why they gave him the Peace Prize, and he was killing people all over the place. Yep. You know,
it's like people want, you know, they want a different outcome for what they know to be true. You know, because everybody, you look at brown skin, everybody knows that we're one big Negro, essentially. You know, that's why Cablasian doesn't exist, and you know, Kamala, she's a Jamaican Indian.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. And people who don't have or share your story or pain or excitement, wonderment, anything that they're not sharing with you, you know, it's strange that you would feel so entitled to them to share with you, right?
That's right.
And not you, but people. We feel like they're going to have this, they're going to support us because we would support them, and that's not how things are. You know, it's so I will never vote for another non-foundational. Look, I ain't voting if there's no payment involved, because they're telling me that it's my black job to vote, but I don't work for free. So
that's the black job. That's the black job that Trump was talking about. The black job, vote for nothing.
For nothing, yeah. And there's too used to that. But actually, that makes me think about The Simpsons, right? You've got these different shows, and they're foretelling the future. You know, from certain people getting shot to certain people dying in some years to just the fact that we were on lockdown, or like sci-fi movies. You like anime, so maybe sci-fi movies are in there too. And, you know, the first video phone call was on the movies, and then, whoa, life, we can do this now. And this was something that you only saw in the movies. And I'm like, is that life? Is that art imitating? Is life imitating art, or is art imitating life? And then again, listening to you on a Thursday, you might come into, there were helicopters and spaceships and all sorts of technology long before the invention of this technology. So, you know, what's going on?
Is it new?
Right.
It's crazy. It's very crazy because I know I love anime because I want to see heroic. I want to see heroes. I want to see heroic events. And that's what I get when I look at Japanese anime. Most of the themes are about heroes. Most of the themes are about people trying to do better, and that there's a clear differentiation between good and evil. Evil is the pharmaceuticals most of the time, but it's always a differentiation, and so you need to have heroes. And see that's why Usman Danfodio. That's what Usman Danfodio. He said that we had to teach our youth about our heroes. And because see that's one of the reasons why you have to teach kids heroes. You have to go through what's called bibliotherapy, and bibliotherapy is you want your kids to read books about black kids and black adults, black teens, black preteens. You want to read them in a positive way, instead of, in a sense, I mean, if you look at ABC News, just about every new book that comes out that's written by a Black person has a gay perspective. Get out of here.
Right.
You got an agenda. You mean is no Black men or women writing books that are just about growing up in this maddening world and trying to navigate adolescence? No, it's got to be about, ABC. If it's on ABC, you know that brother or sister who wrote it, they can always bring up, and how did that relate to your identity? Oh, yes, I had to put in there that I was gay. Come on now, everything is such an agenda. That's what I loved about the fact that Jada Prasad, she wrote a couple of nice books. And then it's this other brother, I can't think of his name right now. He has a YouTube channel. He's wrote a lot of good books about black teenagers, black men, Black women, and their lifestyles. So we had to, in a sense, inculcate in our children an idea that they do have an identity, an idea in the sense that they can be successful men and women. If they decide that they want to, to not in a sense be heterosexual, fine, but at least give them an opportunity. This group exists. At least allow them to know that there are some successful people that that they weren't gay. Because if you look at ABC News, you think that every Black person who's successful had to be gay, had to be homosexual, and that's how they do it. And so this is how they present it to our children, and so that they can get our children. Because what did Francis Cress Welsing say? Their goal, in a sense, is to make us homosexuals. Why do they want you to be homosexual? Homosexuals do not reproduce.
Right.
It's all about population control. It's all about trying to make Black people disappear, because see, as I told you before, we're the majority in this country. We're the majority. They know we're the majority. Many of us can feel we're the majority, but we just go along with the minority stuff because we like to go along to get along.
Right. It's easier to just avoid conflict,
right.
at all costs, right?
That's right.
And I think that's to our detriment. You can't just ignore a threat because you think that it's not going to harm you badly, I guess. I think about hitting my funny bone, For one, I don't know why it's called the funny bone, because every time I've hit it,
it's not funny, is it? But,
no, it's not funny at all.
But it feels funny because it hurt funny. But hey,
right, it does. It hurts funny. It feels funny. But that's a bone that you really don't want to hurt like that. It can be debilitating for life. Not being able to use your dominant arm or whatever it is. You can't lift things anymore because you really knocked your elbow, you broke it. Or as an artist, I get a lot of paper cuts, or used to. I think my fingers are paper cut proof now, but it's like avoiding the bad things because it's easier means that I'm never going to level up. I'm never going to be able to master certain things because I kind of avoided it. And I don't want our children, our minis, the next generation to grow up with these reservations.
See, that's why when you teach, you have to teach them subjects that they have to work towards. And see, you're expert in that. How do you do that? Even though you're an artist, you understand, in a sense, if you want your students to grow, you spend a lot of time with math. And it's these math concepts that allow them to have a relative view of reality. But I'm going to pay the bills now.
Okay.
Free your mind, let it go to the top, drop it to the floor. Take energy, come at like whoa. Spring water, let it go. Free your mind, let it go. Tap in, go, let it nigga know. Hey, let it nigga know. Let it nigga know. Energy, come at like whoa. Spring water, let it go. Free your mind, let it go to the top, drop it to the floor. Energy, come at like whoa. Tap in, go, let it nigga know. Hey, she told me go and put it in her heart. I told her I don't wanna break it all apart. Let me be a night light in the dark. niggas shine bright with the art. Gemini 2-time, know it's hard. Got the stars on the line with the charts. Big dog, so I gotta leave a mark. Free your mind, cause I'm fucking that smart. Hey, energy, got my light walk. Spring water, how did that grow? Free your mind, let it go. To the top, drop it to the floor. Hey, energy, got my light walk. Spring water, how did that go? Free your mind, let it go. Tap in, go, let it nigga know. Hey, let it nigga know.
The only thing that can save you is B1, B1, B1. To fight Cage, you must stay black first. You know, you guys got to support Yoshimod. Yoshimod the Genius makes some very beautiful videos. Very beautiful.
I ride at night, red light, green light, I slide, pass I in flight to bring your mind. New life, unite, you bright inside, I might to my inside to see through your eyes. One fooled me twice, second time wasn't so easy. So many before have tried to deceive me, got close to me, but they so-called breed. So don't tell me what trust is. You know what dust is. Past come take fear, face that when here. Hand me down, give fire with fire, spirit with spirit, ego versus falcon, whatever the image. Yoshimod giving 9-9 I'ma shake it, him rich been with him. African syndrome, money coming with him. Some fall victim, gain more income. Ain't no issue, spiritual, connected with energy, something lyrical. We're known for centuries, blacks in a pain, no global peace.
Meditate, channeling all day, like I did battling all day. Yoshi and handling dumb shit, but if you know.
Red light, green light, I slide, pass I in flight. You bring your mind. New life, unite, you bright inside. I might to my inside to see through your eyes. And your friends say just don't sit right, told her take it easy, but I'm up every night. Different visitors, I'm cool most nights. Low frequency, raise ball, take flight, light up the night sky. Low beam, burn ice, cold wind chill. My life I fly, dark but no, baby, all knowing. See me glowing, lower my eyes, not be lonely. Looking for cheap ride with me, take a trip to the riverside. Swing and bang is no option, with no caution. Swing us in the live is now known. We're sitting high tide. It used to be known, but sometimes getting quiet. Futures are wrong, it's open up sky. Constitution on the blind.
Meditate, channeling all day, like a good modeling all day. Yo, shit, handling dumb shit, but it feel numb.
I ride at night, red light, green light, I slide, pass sight, in flight to bring your mind. New life, unite, you bright, inside, I might, to my inside, to see through your eyes. They all on YouTube. Target and Ikea, playing with kid toys. They like in their 40s. I move. Come on, man. And then in Canada, they teaching them it's okay to be dragged. They kill it. Then the food, the taco, hot chips, bread, pie, all that shit. Yeah. Take it to the air. Take it to the air. Where there's no one there. We won a battle on the ground. Final call came around. Some of us heard that calling. Yeah, some of us were starving. Hoping for a better day. Hoping for a damn change. Living secrets, feeling, healing, trauma, building, destroy it, receive it, feel it, hear it, believe it, you are it, become it, comment, the old man, the whole man, told me, control it, I own it, they won't get, I'm a warrior, I'm a destroyer. They mislead our children, they get in our head. Then they feed us bullshit, kill us dead. They are walking zombies, living dead. And they are all parasites, killing dead. And take it to the air. Yeah. Learn to keep up even when the race ain't made for us. None can rub my nuts, open up, genie, pop up. Want me to open up, but my heart can't open up. I've been hurt, no, I can't tell you my secrets, but if it worked for me, I know that it worked for us. No spoon feed nuts, ain't no off switch. I can never switch, I know too much shit. They mislead our children, and get in our head. They feed us bullshit, kill us dead. They are walking zombies, living dead. And they are all parasites, killing dead. And take it to the air.
Empower your students at every stage of the writing process with Grammarly's generative AI. Use it to help students brainstorm ideas faster. Check for play.
we have to, and like I said, check out Yoshimon's videos. The brother's very creative, as you can see. They don't even want to stop playing. But again, Eve, you know, to me, life is art, and we're trying to make it the way we want it to be. And that, you know, we do want to create these images. We do want to create realities. And in a way, that's what makes life like art, because we want to create realities. And some of these realities are true. Some of them are not true. And I'm not going to tell a lie. I lived a fantasy world, and I lived a fantasy world when I was playing football. I love when Saturday came. I mean, this is football season. Now, when Saturdays come, I think about when I was at university, and thinking about when we would go to the mansion. On Friday nights, we would go to a mansion. They would have, in a sense, chocolate chip cookies and hot chocolate. And then for breakfast, we'd have filet mignon. And then we go play the game. And so I think about these things. It was fun. I think about being on the planes. I think about being with a bunch of guys and we were acting stupid. I think about going to restaurants, and that was when the women started wearing the short things and pinching them on the ass. And that wasn't right. But hey, you're young. You what, 19, 20? Shit. You think the world owes you? You think the world is yours? But that's what makes it bad to be a football player in college. People make you think that a world exists out there that doesn't exist. They make you feel in a sense that you're wanted, you're necessary, you're important.
Until you have something to say, right? And it's like, no, go dribble that ball, run the ball. You entitled Negro, look at how much you get paid. How dare you say something?
They get paid now. They didn't pay us.
All right.
They get paid now. These college students, they have $1 million contracts with Adidas, you know, and all that. We didn't get paid. You know, they might buy you a car for the summer. You know, somebody will let you get a job, you know, and then, you know, you make it look like you had enough money to buy a car, and then you get a car and they think you earned. No, they gave me the damn car. I remember when we played against Billy White Shoes, I was running off the field. I had knocked down a couple of passes. This white guy ran up to me, shook my hand, opened up my hand, had, you know, $300. Oh, well, hey, damn, you know, they spoil you. They spoil you. But even today at 73 years old, I still wish I could get out there and play that football. Don't be a fool like me. Don't be a fool like me.
That's a good point. They want us to exist in our heads, but sometimes inside of there, it's so much bigger. And because you can have everything you want, if you do happen to find yourself trapped inside of your thoughts, you know, I think that means it's time to do something with them, and just be prepared, because people are not going to like you the same way that they used to before you started producing results from these thoughts that you have. And I mean, art being, you know, what I see in my head, there was a long time where I couldn't put it on the paper because I hadn't done it enough yet. I haven't practiced it hard. You know what? I think that's the biggest thing, because I'm not an art teacher, but the minis want to draw, and they can draw. They all have their own styles, but they want to draw better. What they see in their head, they want to put it on paper. And I'm like, you can. If you did that about 100 times, you know, you want to go on the basketball court and never miss a shot. Well, you can. If you do that about 10,000 times, 10 maybe, you know, you have to put in the work, and then your expectations should align, you know, after you've done the work. But maybe it takes you too long. I've seen older men in sports cars, and they can't get in the car because they're a lot older than they used to be when they first had their sights on said car. But they've worked, they've got the money now, and now they can get their Corvette. So they're gonna get their Corvette, and they're gonna ride it until they take their license. But,
what about this merch?
Yes, I wanted to just, since we're talking about art, my site, we sell art in food form, in clothing form, and most recently we have a sticker for all of you people who like to share your voting status, because, you know, they like to do that, especially on Facebook.
I need that button. I need that button.
A button. Yeah, I was thinking about making some buttons too. But right now we've got some stickers. $3 gets you 12 I voted for the couch stickers. So, you know, if you want to say it with your chest, you can. Because remember, if the math ain't mathin', you got to let them know. And, you know, you can't just be talking about it. You got to be about it. So just wanted to throw that out there for the family. Just if they wanted to, they could do that. So,
You know, you guys got to be supportive and, you know, support Eve. You know, and that's the, you have to support the sister. And because it's out there.
What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB, or find me on X at Justice4Just Us. That's JUSTICE, 4 JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first.
Hi, family. This is Clyde Winters again. How are you doing? We got a new course coming up. This new course is going to be Part 3, When Britain Was Black. In Part 3, we're going to talk about the Black British Romans, the Black Emperors, the Black Moors. We're going to talk about the beautiful castles and homes that these Black people built in Europe. We're going to talk about Black royalty. Join us for Part 3, When Britain Was Black. We're going to teach the class on Monday, beginning September 9th. The class is going to be at 7:30 p.m. British time and 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time in the United States. Join us for this class. Learn about the Black British Romans, the Black Emperors, the Moors, the castles that they lived in, and Black royalty. Join us for the third part in the Black British History online course. Join us. You can register for the course at Sister Shanice .gumroad. Yes, go to Gumroad and you can register for the class at sistershanice.gumroad.com. Join us for the class beginning September 9th. You know, did you have any final comments for this week's show?
Sure. Yes. One comment. If you're going to use your time being entertained by any of these programs, right, then pay attention to them, because I find that when I started watching shows with a different lens, you know, it's not necessarily about the entertainment. A lot of times they're stealing our stories, putting their characters on it, presenting it to the world, and then now you think that Superman is white. How? You know, you can't come from, you know, a planet that gets energy from the sun if you burn in the sun. That doesn't make sense to me, but that's not their story. And a lot of times the things that we've popularized, because we make things hot, they like to say that their ice is colder and they make it pretty, or, you know, how to sell the Negro, right? And a lot of times it's us that's popularized something, and when we popularize their story, we're completely ignoring the us that's in it. So you might have even liked it because you felt something about it. You know, if you like the old war shows, or any time where you've got people battling and they're not eating each other. Yeah, it's probably a story that came from somebody who looks like you, and they had their hands on it first so they could put it out again. And then if you never care to pay attention to things, then you won't even make the connection. You'll just accept the fact that Kal-El is white-skinned, who can get power from the sun. And they don't say he's using sunscreen. You know, they don't say any of the things that make reality real, or why we should even use their fictional characters. You know, we've got real life people, they're not alive anymore sometimes, but real people that you can get the same type of movement from. That internal makes you want to do something because you feel powerful because you just saw it on screen, which is why you said bibliotherapy is a good move for the minis. Absolutely. I agree with that. I didn't know that there was a word for it. So thank you for updating my lexicon.
Yeah. You guys have a good evening. Thank you for showing up. And if you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do.
If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears to them and stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your life, they feel.